My guess is it will signal a major bounce. But again, like I said before, stock market to me, 5-10 years before we make a new all-time high. But you know what it's gonna put a bottom in, and there's gonna be a new bull market. Bitcoin and gold will outperform, absolutely. As soon as you get a pivot, gold is gonna rip because the dollar will fall. Yeah. And Bitcoin still has some downside because it's still a risk asset, but down the line in like a year, I do expect a major bottom in Bitcoin.
Hello and welcome to Money Talks. In today's video, President and Chief Market Strategist Gareth Soloway updates about his macroeconomic outlook, including Bitcoin's current price and market standing, whether or not we're in a true recession, and the implications of the Fed's consistent rate hikes. Gareth also shares his perspective on market bottom and the future of Bitcoin and gold.
So like think about the .com, right? It took 15 years to make new all-time highs on the NASDAQ. Yeah. If you look at the Brazilian market, if you look at the Hang Seng, both those markets made their highs in 2003, and they have never taken out those highs, but you've still had mini bull markets in there with huge moves to the upside.
But okay, so wouldn't that mean that Bitcoin isn't going to make new all-time highs because it's been correlated with the stock market?
Yeah, you would think that it wouldn't make new all-time highs, but I actually think that there will be a pivot in Bitcoin as it matures, as regulation helps people feel more confident, institutions feel more confident. You're going to start to see it being treated much more like gold, which will then
it's going to start diverging from the stocks.
It will. Not yet. I want to be clear to everyone out there. It's still going to take some time, but there will be probably in about 12 months a divergence that begins.
While some are concerned about the current state of Bitcoin and crypto markets, on-chain indicators have long suggested that the 2022 bear market is comfortingly similar to previous ones. Eyeing the one-month stochastic chart for Bitcoin, Allen highlighted Bitcoin repeating a structure common to both the 2014 and 2018 bear markets. Stochastic oscillators are classic tools for identifying price cycles and bullish and bearish interplay.
So first support is 12 to 13,000. I think in the near term, we're going to see a little bit of a bounce, then a wave down to 12 to 13. And then I do worry that you're going sub 10 to 8, maybe even worst case scenario, 3,500. 3,500, very small percentage, but that would be the equivalent of Amazon.com's collapse in the .com era if it were to equal that.
Bitcoin has proved to be no exception, with monthly low stochastic readings perfectly matching bear market price floors. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView confirms. Now, those low levels are back, numbers which have only appeared 3 times before.
There's no doubt that there's panic in the markets, but per the VIX, we haven't hit the levels where I would say there's a market bottom yet, right? So I've been consistently saying, yes, you're going to get bounces when you get these big sell-offs, 2%, 3%, you get that kind of mid-level panic that triggers a bounce, but by no means is the market at a near bottom yet.
Recent Bitcoin prediction reports claim that the crypto is estimated to plummet further below. Even though all other assets are plummeting heavily, the focus is mostly on the Bitcoin price.
Well, because number one, you still have a Fed that's aggressively hiking. As of now, we'll see what the CPI data is coming up. But for the most part, the Fed is hiking. We have an economy that's going to slow down. And I think to be honest, that's one of the biggest concerns I have. And this is kind of shocking. This will be shocking to people. But you have $1 trillion in savings that consumers accumulated over COVID, right? And so the Fed is saying, oh, look at these jobs numbers. They're still very, very strong. People are still spending. The consumer's still doing well. So we have to continue to hike rates. Problem is, consumers are going to run out of that money that they saved probably by mid-next year. And my biggest fear, and this is this could be what triggers a massive kind of recession, if not worse, is that when they run out of money and the Fed has just hiked and hiked into it, there's going to be a cliff dive in the economy.
There are experts who believe that Bitcoin will definitely reach $30,000 by the end of 2022, whereas some believe that BTC will plummet down to $10,000.
Well, a recession can be mild, right? You could have, it's a little minor recession. Even the Fed has said, hey, we don't care if we push the economy into a recession. But a cliff dive, that's where you have unemployment going to 5, 7, 8, 9, 10%. And that's where you get in trouble, where the Fed then has to start lowering rates instead of just going to neutral where they're not hiking anymore. And potentially down the line, I do worry that it's going to get so bad that even with 4% inflation, you still could see a point where in like a year, 2 years from now, the Fed has to actually start QE again.
Meanwhile, there is another section of crypto fanatics and analysts who believe that Bitcoin will first plummet down to $10,000 and then make its way above.
There's two things. Everyone thinks a pivot is where they start dropping rates.
Yeah.
My pivot is where they go from 75 to 50. So it's like the downsloping mountain versus the upsloping climb.
I'm talking about just straight up stopping raising rates.
So just going to neutral. I do think by 2023, early first quarter, they're done. And I think you're going to see the jobs numbers. At some point, these jobs numbers are going to crack, and we're going to see a big drop and a fast drop. And again, this is going to coincide with people running out of this COVID savings and all of a sudden really pulling back. And think about 401ks. Think about your house. Like, as we see the housing prices fall, and we're starting to see that now, the wealth effect disappears. And people feel like it's one thing to say, I'm going to go buy a new car because my house just went up 100K in the last 3 months, and you know what, the economy's rocking. But now all of a sudden your house drops 100, 200,000, and you have other factors that are pulling you back. Now you just put on the brakes and the cliff dive occurs.
Believing in any particular Bitcoin price prediction report might be unreliable from an investment point. However, it is of utmost importance that crypto users analyze the price movements of all cryptocurrencies and invest in them based on their capability to endure losses.
If things get bad enough, but I would be surprised. I would be surprised if it gets that bad that quickly. I mean, yes, I'm talking cliff dive, but I think with inflation, and I don't expect inflation to go back to 2% anytime soon. I mean, we're talking years above 2%. So they're going to be very reluctant, and this is going to be another point where we're going to all say the Fed was late again, just like they said it was transitory, it wasn't transitory, just like they said so they're always late, and then they always overdo it. We're seeing it right now. They were late about inflation because they thought it was transitory. Now they're hiking ridiculously. It's the same thing is going to come in. They're going to wait too long to lower rates and start stimulating, and then we're going to get into a much worse situation, and they'll have to drop rates and print even more money. Look at the balance sheet, by the way. Fed's balance sheet, it goes like this. It goes up sharply, and then they try to bring it back down. It goes down a little, and then up sharply again and down. You know, that's the way the Fed works, unfortunately, because they're human, number one, and number two, sometimes, honestly, I don't know what the hell they're thinking. Sorry to say it, but...
Given today's macroeconomic environment, investors are treading quite carefully. The Bitcoin price sank immediately after the new CPI reports came in. The U.S. consumer prices in September slowed down compared to the previous month. However, the inflation rate has continued to gain momentum. Bitcoin plunged nearly 3% since the report came to its lowest level since September. The BTC price touched the $18,000 mark, triggering other cryptocurrencies to plummet immediately. This new decline made several investors and analysts believe that the crypto will definitely touch the $10,000 mark by the end of 2022. So what do you think the long-term effect will be of the Fed's consistent rate hikes? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.